Live Masterclass. I'm your host, Paul, and today we're tackling one of the biggest questions we got from aspiring entrepreneurs.
Hey, how you guys doing, man? I'm Dawon Matthews, of course, owner of Goodies Soul Kitchen, Bird and Buns, and now Goodies HTX. And I am here to educate you guys just on basically how I started my food truck business with less than $10,000 out of pocket, man.
Yeah, I mean, day
Extremely.
one, you went from cleaning and junk removal business, to wrap up the quick intro, to running one of the hottest food trucks in Texas. And so proving that systems, marketing, and smart financing can build a business faster than most people think, right? And so today, like you said, you're breaking down exactly how to do it, from
Hmm.
financing safely to picking a winning concept to getting customers lifted, customers lined up on day one. Remember when I showed up? I mean, that was no joke. And so last but not least, very important, make sure to stick around for part two inside UpFlip Academy right after this live. That's where day one will share the frameworks that let him run his food truck in just 10 hours a week. So it's free to join, the links below. Now, day one, take it from here.
Yeah, so I'm gonna reintroduce myself again. Like I said, I'm Dawon Matthews, owner of Goodies Soul Kitchen, Bird and Buns, and now Goodies HTX. Outside of this, I have wonderful cleaning, R&R junk removal, and I own a bunch of real estate. I just wanted to get on here and give you guys some information on basically how to grow your food trucks for less than $10,000 out of pocket. This journey has been for me, exciting. It's a lot of questions. I get a lot of people asking a lot of questions. It's something that I think this live is going to be, very helpful, for a bunch of people. So if you're someone that knows someone in the food truck industry, I want you to share this link out to a few people, and let's get these guys in. Let's
Let's do
start
it.
from here. Okay, yeah. So first, we got the mega question. There's no way he started this company. There's no way he did this thing for less than $10,000 out of pocket, right? And first and foremost, I want to let you guys know the power of credit, right? And if you're someone who's like, hey, I don't need credit, I want to use my own money, I'm telling you right now, you're going to put yourself in the back seat, of the vehicle, right? At this point, I explain to every single one who comes to me and say, how did you do it? I always tell them, get your credit fixed. If you don't have good credit, get it fixed because that credit will help you leverage this business, right? So again, going into the industry, like I said, I had good credit. So what I did was I took, my good credit and I used it to be able to leverage this business and be able to get my food trailer for, less than $10,000 out of pocket. It was actually around four. It was a $1,437, right? And people that we used was ClickLease. ClickLease. We went into our fund trailer. The people who built our trailer, they said, "Hey, would you like to buy it outright? Would you like to do a rent to own, or would you like to come in and just basically use your credit and use it initially as a car loan. It'll be the same thing as a car loan. You can get this trailer, we can build it out from scratch. We can put all new equipment in there, and you'll just pay this amount, right? Let's see if we can get you approved. Um, Filled out the application, and then from there, I was approved for $43,000. And then once I got approved, I basically built that trailer out to my needs, and I was able to keep the rest of the money that I had in pocket saved up to be able to actually be able to start this business and use that all for marketing. So that was a huge help, huge help, huge help. I'm gonna go on to the next slide here. About me. Again, owner of Goody Soul Kitchen. I was featured on CNBC, Make It Happen, and UpFlip, of course. The best network for entrepreneurs. Um, I built, my success on service based businesses. I believe those businesses, I'm a blue collar state, so I believe those businesses kind of, make you who you are. And again, I started out as a janitor. My first company was Wonderful Cleaning that was created in 2017. Fresh when I was fresh out of college. And that was one of the most humbling experiences that I ever had in my life and my journey. But it taught me so much just in business and about working hard and just keep on going after things. For people who are starting in this food truck industry, I just want to give you guys a little bit of motivation. I'm a motivational guy. My first year in cleaning, I made $347 a month, right? And I made that for 12 months straight, right? But what people don't understand is, and what people don't talk about, is the process of building something, right? And when I kind of jumped into entrepreneurship, I fell in love with the process. I never fell in love with money. I always fall in love with the process of building something. And that was able to catapult me into going into these multiple industries and don't not having all the knowledge, not understanding what I'm doing half of the time, and quite frankly, not worrying about if I failed or not, right? Because I was so in love with the process, right? There's a book by Will Smith that says, talks about laying the perfect brick, right? And it's something I kind of use in every single business model I have, right? And if you go out there and lay that brick so perfect every single day, before you know it, you'll have a wall, right? And that's something that we did in every single business model I had. Now, granted, I did fail, right? I did go out there and fall flat on my face sometimes, but I never looked at it as failure. I looked at it as learning, right? And some people like to, get mentors and say, I don't want to make those mistakes. Me, I'm the type of guy, I want to make those mistakes. So I'm able to give this information to people that's coming after me, right? Because anything you do in life is never about you, it's about the people that's coming after you. So granted, like I said, we started Goody Soul Kitchen with no chef. Didn't know how to cook. Haven't cooked for over 100 people in my life, right? And didn't even know how to turn a food truck on, when we first started. And again, now look at it 12 months later, and we're sitting here, with a 7-figure business, being able to teach other people, being able to encourage other people, and most importantly, being able to, make people fall in love with the process of actually building something, right? This isn't an overnight success business. It's something that's more of, you got to put the work in. And if you put the work in, it will happen for you. So, yeah. Outside of that, I'm sorry, I like to dive deep into that process part, but outside of that, now I'm able to run, this truck and my other businesses. We're working less than 10 hours a week, right? And people have that question of, how are you doing that, right? It's called delegation. Delegation, trusting people, putting the right people around you, and not being afraid to give people something, right? That's the most important part of this whole process, right? Not being able to look at people and say, okay, I have 100% of this business. I'll give you a percent of this business if you work for it and you treat it like yours, right? Because in reality, what that does is people don't just walk into your companies and go, okay, it's okay to leave a trash a bag. It's okay to not change a trash bag because my cleaning company, right? They'll walk in there and people are real anal on that. Hey, make sure every trash can is changed, right? But if I give a percentage of that company to a person that person that runs that side of my business, what they do is now they treat it like it's theirs. The same with the food truck thing, right? I give percentages to the people I started with, and now they treat it like it's theirs, and I'm able to free up my time to be able to create, right? So I get a lot of questions about that. There's no way he's doing this thing working less than 10 hours a week. It does happen, and and the reason why it does happen because we learn to trust people, and we learn to make sure that we're giving people not only an opportunity to make money, but an opportunity of ownership, right? And I believe that when people look at ownership and people, dive into ownership, it's something that basically, makes them look at your business and your models and want to do good by them. So that's how we kind of do that, right? And that's about me. Today in the agenda, what we're going to talk about is, finding a winning concept, for under 10K, looking at the finance and responsibility, launching and marketing your truck, for a fast, traction, and then building systems to run your truck without you, right?
Yeah, a lot to talk about, so we'll try to cram it all in within this 1 hour live. So feel free, you guys, to ask a bunch of questions. We'll have 2 Q&As somewhere in between, and we'll get through this and hopefully learn a lot.
And if I'm ever over talking, let me know. Do I click the next slide? Right. Like I said, I love this stuff, man.
I'll
This
nudge you along a little bit, Dawon.
Yeah.
Make sure
I breathe it, man. I breathe it. All right. So when we first started this thing, right, we looked at how can we grow this thing, right? And my biggest thing was consistency. When I look at food, it's all about consistency, right? And I see the biggest mistake that a lot of food truck owners make is that, most people, start this thing, right, with a menu, but they don't start it with a recipe book, right? And when I look at those things like that, I tend to look at, a lot of these, trucks aren't able to create or generate consistency because, again, they have a menu, but they don't have a recipe book to basically work that menu and have that menu, basically put together to serve a bunch of people. So what I did was, I jumped into the industry. I moved to Houston and I looked at, and I was like, okay, what's not being served here, right? And at a certain time point, if you're in Houston, you will notice that all they serve is kind of tacos, right? And I was like, I'm from up north, so back home, you can get fried chicken, mac and cheese. You can get a lot of, great dishes after a certain time. So I look for the deficit in the market. So anybody who's starting, I'm telling them right now, look for that gap. See what everybody around you has and see what they're missing. And don't be afraid to trust your vision on that too. Be a visionary. Put things in place so that people can be happy. Because what you're thinking sometimes is most likely right, right? And then it was that mindset that basically when I looked at this industry, I was like, okay, I can make a lot of money in here. A lot of people, when they come from, I'm in Houston, I'm in a party city, so everybody didn't want tacos when they left the club, right? People wanted a home cooked meal. So that was something where, I kind of looked at that market and I was like, okay, this is something that's going to, compel me to the next level. So first thing I did was look at the deficit of the market, right? The next thing I did was, I didn't, try to go above and beyond. I basically put this thing together to where I was like, I just want to serve a great meal at a certain time. And that was something that basically, compelled me to, my success in this industry. Right. So the big mistake most people make is, most people start with a menu, but they don't start with the recipe book. And that's something that, I kind of, dived in on, right? Let me go to this next slide. Again, I told you guys, in the last slide, when I moved to Houston, I looked at every single thing in this market. I was like, you know what? There's no way that I want to eat tacos every single night. So again, my concept was around great food after a certain time, and basically in a party city. So that was something that I basically kind of look up. That was something that I attacked when I looked at this market. And everybody thought I was crazy, right? But again, trust your vision, and trust what you want to put out in the world, right? Okay. So basically, when I looked at also building out, the framework of, my industry and my and what I did with goodies, right? I was like, okay, what are people hungry for, right? And then I also looked at the place. I was like, okay, where are most of the clubs at? Where are most of the party cities at? Where are most of the bars at, right? And these people that go out in Houston is a tourist city, so all of the clubs and everything are in probably like a 10-mile radius of each other. So what I did was, before I placed my trailer and went out there and basically put my truck in just any place. I looked at the deficit. I looked at the place I was going to go. And then also, what product are they? What are they actually craving? So again, I was that guy who went out to the clubs and did these things, and I'm like, man, I don't want to eat tacos, right? So understanding that, I was like, okay, I need to bring them I need to bring them some type of comforting food after a certain time. That was something that I did. So my target market was people after the club. I never thought about it of being, people that enjoyed lunch, people that wanted dinner. I was strictly targeting people after the club. My place, I was like, okay, I need to put this around the clubs. And then my product was that comfort food after a certain time. So that was my framework on basically how I built my business. So when you are someone who's jumping out into this industry, make sure you attack those three things, right? Who are you trying to feed? Are you trying to feed a lunch crowd, a breakfast crowd? Are you trying to feed single moms? Are you trying to feed, the police, basically people that go to the bar? Who are you trying to feed? You need to know those things before you start, because once you do that, you'll create a GPS for you to actually create a successful truck. The next thing is where are those people at? Right? It's not typically hard to find those people, but if you really look at, your state or where you're at and dive into it, it'll give you that exact location where those people are. For example, if you know for a fact that you want to feed people in a corporate office during a lunch schedule, you're going to put your truck downtown, because that's what those people are at. And then you want to think about the product. Again, I'm not serving food to the people that's in a corporate office at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. They don't want to eat that. Why? Because I know for a fact that when it comes to my food, when you eat a big meal, you want to go to sleep after that. Those people still have to go to work. So if I was to serve people that's in that corporate setting, what I'm going to serve is salads, shakes, something that's light, but keep the energy going and keep them moving through the day, right? So the three P's of your framework. Make sure that you really dive in on the people, the place, and the products.
Yeah, we dive into it into following slides, Dawon. So feel free to.
Got you. So I'm probably jump through these slides, but like I said, I kind
You
of
are, yeah. You get, but this is perfect. I mean, this is a live call,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah,
hitting all the right
yeah.
points.
So again, like I said, when I was talking about the people, who is your customer? Identifying your customer, make sure you know you're writing down your customers. And again, this is a big thing when you're looking at it. Don't try to please everyone because every single food vendor that you got out there, they have a certain customer.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you look at it or not, they have a certain customer. So narrow it down to three, and then once you pick those three, then look at the market and see where those three people are mostly common at, and then that's when you'll find that one customer that you're trying to attack, right? And then like I said, the places we talked about: location, 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 location. Right? Location is very key. Once you got your people, then people will pick you. Your people will push you to that location to be able to put your truck at. Right? And then another thing, right? I want to speak on basically, building this formula under $10,000. When you are looking for that location, reach out to those businesses out there too, because those businesses that don't have kitchens would love to team up with food trucks for $0 a month. Why? Because what happens is you're bringing business to their establishment. I have a truck right now called Bird and Buns. Who we have a nice sports bar in Houston, Texas called Patterson Park, and they are not reaching the success that they want to reach because they don't have food. So when I created Bird and Buns, it's a sports bar menu. It's burger, wings, and fries. And my target was bars that didn't have kitchens. So once you went out there, if you are looking for somebody, I mean, if you're somebody who's looking to get in this industry and save a bunch of money, go around the local businesses that don't have kitchen that's in that area that you kind of basically attack as far as people wise, and ask them, hey, if I can put my truck here, I'll make sure that I feed, a bunch of people that's coming to your establishment, and hopefully it helps your business grow. Right? Major key, because right now, not paying that $1,500 a month that I pay for goodies, being able to save that, I'm able to grow a lot more faster. I'm able to get a lot of my money in my pockets. And then again, the product, right? Before going out and buying that trailer, right? And I got established in a couple of slides before, what are you cooking? How are you cooking it? And then going out and testing that product before you actually open up, right? What I want you guys to do is, if you're someone who loves to cook and someone who has a passion for cooking, and you know that you have a good product, make a tasting. It's okay to make a tasting. The next thing you will do is do it family and friends. And then last but not least, invite your neighborhood out. Those things are going to catapult you in this industry because now your neighborhood knows about you. You're doing all of the groundwork before you actually go invest a lot of your money into these trailers. Right? And if you don't put all your money in, that loan that you have, now that loan is guaranteed to be paid back off of other people's money. Right? So being able to look at that product, put that product out, and test that product before it actually hit the market is very key.
Dawon, how much did the tasting event cost you as an investment? Was it the $500 or was it more? It doesn't seem like a lot.
So my tasting event was a little bit more than $500, right? Again,
you went all out.
Yeah, I went all out because I didn't pay a lot of money as far as having, the trailer. So all the money that I basically had saved up, I was like, okay, I want to put this money out for the tasting events. I actually did 3 events. So before I actually got my trailer, I did a tasting, I did a family and friends, then I did a community engagement event. So I gave away probably $1,500 in food for free. But once I opened, I had a line of people that was at my trailer because they already tasted the product before it got there.
Word spread. And what was the time difference, not difference, but the time between those events and when you actually opened up with the line of people by the food
I
truck?
want to say once the trailer got done, and this is another quick gem, right? Once the trailer got done, you want to practice on cooking on that trailer, right? The tasting, like the overall tasting, was something that we probably did a month and a half before we actually got on the trailer,
Yeah,
right? But the family and friends was done on the trailer, and then the community engagement was done on the trailer. But it also gives you practice on working that trailer.
Okay.
So if you're someone who comes in this industry and don't understand how to work a food truck, because it is kind of tough in the beginning, there's your practice right there. Now you don't have to go out and actually, just wing it when you're opening day and everything's a disaster. No, get your practice in with those events. Right? The next thing you want to do is make sure you got somebody out there, people eat with their eyes. So make sure you got somebody out there taking videos, taking pictures, posting on your social media, getting that page up, grabbing all your content, right? We like to call them content books. What we do is every single Monday we're just snapping photos of the food all day long, and now we got our content for the next, I want to say 45 days already rolled out. So while you're doing those events, that tasting, that family and friends, get the content of your food, right? And then again, build up the social media. You'll start getting early followers, and then before you know it, when you open your door, now you're preparing yourself for a launch. So the product is one thing, but having that rollout is actually something that you really need.
Next, it's just an opportunity for people to ask questions. I'm looking at a couple notes. I mean, somebody, when we just started day one, is questioning your $10,000 to start with. It says 10,000 out of pocket. Sounds like absolute BS unless you take out loans. What do you say to
that? You do take out loans. So
nothing wrong with doing that too, but if you have savings, then look at all your options.
Yeah. I mean, loans was something that we kind of used, and again, I don't even think we recapped that or reached that part at $10,000. Honestly, I mean, once we spent that money on the marketing, the tasting, I want to say we're around like a $7,000 mark. Because again, we got the food also on a line of credit too, which was a net 15. So now we didn't even pay for the food up front to basically open up our first week. That was on the net 15 too. Mm-hmm. So it gave us the opportunity to basically launch and do our things and put a lot of money back in our pocket.
Gotcha. What about getting a loan for the food truck? That's a very common question. Do you have any suggestions? I know we have the SBA route. That tends to be a little longer than most loans. What's your experience?
So you can do a bunch of different things as far as, creative financing, click lease. A lot of these people who actually build out these trailers, they'll offer those options of basically leasing options. It's the same process as basically buying a car. I wouldn't advise SBA at all. My reason for that is because it takes too long, and the length of the process is not worth what you're trying to do, right? But also creative financing way, right? If you're someone who has a 700 credit score and you can go out and go get that business line of credit or that business loan behind your business from your personal bank, you can use that. There are banks like Truist, who I am a proud client of them, and basically they'll give you a credit card for $25,000 at zero interest for 12 months.
Yeah.
So now you can spend that $25,000.
That's huge. You
can spend that $25,000 and not have to worry about it for the next 12 months.
Yeah.
So again, that's creative financing. American Express will give you, big lines of credit, for things like that, and you're able to go out there and start your business. It's a lot of ways to do these things. You just gotta, do your research, and again, there's a bunch of like Chase, Truist, and even Navy Federal. Those guys will all give you bigger balances on your credit cards, where you can just use your credit cards to finance your business. Yeah. You just have to, like I said, pay attention to the marketing part and make sure that you have a system in place to pay this money back.
Quick note, more of a technical question. Do we take out a loan under LLC or personal name?
For me, it was my personal, but also it can be your LLC. I know Truist right now has a program to where if you don't even have to have 2 years tax returns. If you go in there with an LLC and it's showing proven deposits for like the first 3 months, they'll give you a credit card, a business credit card.
Easy. Okay. All right, let's keep going.
Excuse my computer, it's a little slow. All right, section 2, financing without the regrets, right? So what that 10K really covered, for me, right? The food truck, the grand opening, the marketing, the PR, the food inventory, the setup, right? And how did I pay it? The 1K down, the 4K in cash, and the 1K in cash, 2 in a line of credit. Notes, financing through quick lease, events and influencers, pressing articles and ads, and then Gordon, and signs and permits, right? Okay, so like I talked about this in the beginning, financing a truck, right? I use Click Lease, right? And it was something that was very easy to me. But again, if you're someone who's in this industry who's going out there to go build a trailer, a lot of these places who build trailers will offer you financing in-house. So you can use that financing to get your trailer up and running, and they give you a brand new trailer, right? A lot of questions I did see, you know, in kind of the comments, what UpFlip was, do I buy new or used, right? And I want to touch base on that while I'm here on just basically financing and doing and getting your truck, right? What happens with used trucks is, first of all, you can't use credit to buy it. Second of all, if that equipment breaks, it's all on you. And I'm jumping around here, but I have to get this question up. And then again, when you buy something used, somebody else has already used that equipment, and that equipment isn't coming with a warranty. So my biggest thing is when you finance and you go out there and get that trailer, you get all the equipment new. You get everything brand new, and you get warranty on everything for the first 2 years. So I financed my truck through Quick Lease with, you know, a little over $1,000 out of pocket, and it was something that, you know, I will not regret. And I got my next truck the same exact way. So yeah, using the credit, you know, basically financing the truck, and then you know, basically the inventory that you basically get, like I said, with Gordon's and stuff like that. Again, you're not coming out of pocket. If these people aren't even looking at, you know, your overall, like you have a 650 credit score, you're overqualified. I know a lot of people say, hey, you need a 720 or a 7. That's not true. That's not true. When I got my trailer, I had a 640 credit score. So these people will finance you. And again, you know, keeping this process simple. You know, paying off your stuff, right? Again, making sure you have that system of that rollout before you go get that trailer is going to be very key. Again, soft openings, making sure you're building that clientele is going to be very key, because when you open this thing, right, you want to go into this thing being able to cover, you know, and pay that stuff off. So that was something that we, you know, we drilled in it. Hey, we need these 3 events for one, to make sure that we actually have something that works, something that's key, and able to pay that line of credit off, right? And then avoid like opening so many accounts. Like I said, when you're doing this food trailer thing, you know, I had 2 accounts. I had Quick Lease and Gordon's, and I had a personal credit card that was attached to my name. But behind my business and the things that I was doing was Quick Lease and Gordon's. Outside of that, my food cost at that time wasn't over $500. So if I broke that down weekly, you know, I only had to make $300 a week to actually run my business, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So again, don't go out here and get all these credit cards that I'm going to know. Stay simple. Minimum, you know, the minimum I would literally try to do, if you could do everything, you know, with 2, which is Gordon's and Quick Lease, keep it right there. Me, I use my other personal credit card though. But again, I want to keep it like that. Me, when you're asking about credit unions and stuff like that, Truist helped me a lot. Right, Truist was able, you know, outside of Quick Lease, Truist was able to look at my business, identify my business, and that's when they gave me that big personal credit card, which was $25,000, and that was able to, you know, push my business forward too, as far as marketing and things like that. So if you're someone in this chat that has a Truist, you know, bank in your neighborhood, make sure you reach out to them and tell them I sent you. My computer's a little slow. All right, marketing in your launch, right? We kind of talked about that in the beginning.
Yeah.
So my grand opening, why it blew up. All right. So right now, what we did was we paid, and I'm doing it again. So I'm talking to you guys, and I'm actually in this right now, right? So this is my passionate part. This is what I'm super excited about, right? I love this part of the game. Food influencers, right? Working towards your business, working in your business, right? Right now, outside of celebrities, outside of streaming, we have a new, you know, we have a new flock of people that's actually famous for eating food, right? And the majority of those guys do cost money, but also you got some micro influencers too who will come out and eat your food for free just to build their page. So what we kind of did, right, is we kind of went out and paid 3 big influencers. What those 3 big influencers did is, I'm giving you guys a whole marketing rollout right now. They basically sparked a buzz to the micro influencers, And now the micro influencers are going, wait, that looks good. Let me go out there and try that, because now I know that these people got buzz. I can cross utilization basically my social media platform with theirs, and that can gain me followers. Once you do that with your micro influencers, now those people are coming out for free. Again, when I say pay big influencers, I want you to look at their pages. They can have 500,000 followers, but look at the comments. Look at the send-offs. How many people is actually viewing their page, right? And pay attention to that, because we have a micro influencer who only has 20,000 followers, but she has over 1 million views every single month. And then you got people who have 500,000 followers, but they only have, I want to say, 250,000 views every month. Mm-hmm. So pay attention to those influencers. Look at them. See which one is getting the traction, because that's what you want. You want traction. You want people looking. The next thing outside of there is your micro influencers. How do you pick those guys, right? Ideally, you let all of them come, because the more people that basically taste your food, and it's only a free meal, it's not going to hurt you. You can do one a week, or you could do, right now I'm doing one a day, right? With my next truck, I'm inviting a person out every day. Come out and eat, come out and eat, come out and eat, come out and eat, because I know I have a good product, and outside of that, I want more people to look at it. The next thing I did was, once I took those social media photos, I ran ads behind my reels, right? I didn't run ads behind the pictures. I ran ads behind the reels, because I strategically looked at exactly what captures people attention. It's food, but people don't want to see still food. People want to see food moving, right? So what I did was, I said, I'm going to run a bunch of ads. And that's what we do. We run a bunch of ads. We're cooking the food. We're doing all this practicing. We're doing the rollouts. We're doing all these things, but we're taking all this content, and after that, we're running ads behind it. Now, you don't want to go out there and spend $100 on ads. I see that a lot. People say you got to spend this much to bring this much, right? You're not in a service-based business. When I'm dealing with R&R, I might spend a bunch of money on ads. When I'm dealing with food, I only need to spend between $3 to $5 on ads. But what I do need to focus on is my location, who I'm targeting, right? In the beginning, we talked about the 3 Ps: the people, the product, and the place, right? So if I know that I'm feeding a lunch crowd, and I know for a fact that I'm doing salads and smoothies in the afternoon, I'm feeding a lunch crowd, corporate people just coming into lunch, I'm going to focus my ads to the people who are in corporate, cops, basically cops, moms that go to work every day, dads that go to work every day. Because when you look in your ad, right, and we were talking about blowing this thing up off of Instagram. So when you're looking in your ad thing, once you get in the back office, it'll show you that. It'll say, where do you want the location to be? Who do you want to market to? And if you're saying moms, then you can go out there and type in daycare, right? Because you know for a fact the kid going to daycare, then the mom's going to be at work, right? And so you know for a fact that she's going to have to eat lunch. It's the same exact thing. When you're looking at those keywords and stuff like that, make sure you top those in an Instagram, and they'll basically compel your ad to all those people who are watching that in that space, right? And then the next thing we did was we reached out to all the local newspapers. Let them know, hey, we're about to open up. We're about to bring you a nice little a food spot downtown. What do you guys think about it? And again, if you understand how news and media works, they need something to talk about. Those stories on there, the news anchor job is to specifically go out and find stories. So now I'm going to help you out. You don't got to find this story. I'm going to give you a story. I'm opening up. Come check it out. Great. And we were able to get a lot of ads going before we actually went out. So again, what cost the money? The paid influencers, the social media ads. What was free? The press is free. And when you're going out to the newspapers, they don't cost you a lot of money. And then basically, word of mouth is free too. So having that before you actually go out and open up is going to blow your grand opening up. My computer is a little slow. I'm sorry about that.
You still with us, Dawon?
All right, so, dang, you want me to give them all the sauce? Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. It's just your camera's glitching a little bit, but let's keep going.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, and again, is this all good information?
Absolutely. You're on building community buzz. Let's dive into
all right,
some of the
because I'm used to talking in a Okay. All right. I'm on daily marketing systems. Dang, I'm just giving them my whole play, but it's gonna be great. Hopefully somebody takes this and went off this too. This is great. So what we do is we teach our marketing team, right? And
Can
again,
you
does
switch
this
to
cost
that
money?
slide,
No,
Dawon?
because I already gave this person.
I have no idea where Dawon went. Stay tuned, you guys. Not sure where Dawon just disappeared to. Let me try to add him back on. He will be back. Yes, he will be back indeed. He totally left the chat. He did tell me that he's not really good with tech. Ask the chat to send him a message. He'll be back indeed. Tell you what, just call him up. Dawon, we lost you, brother. The whole world's watching. I'm leaving the live link. We're rolling, but you're not in the Riverside anymore. You gotta rejoin us. Oh, you can't connect? Is it just the Wi-Fi connection? I'm still rolling the live. People are saying he'll be back. I'll be back. No, of course. We're let, let's have you join back in because people are we still have about 50 people watching, and they're waiting. And yeah, no, your tempo's great. Just go through the slides, and we'll go to part 2 in the UpFlip Academy here once we wrap this up. Are you able to join us or no? There you are.
You can see me?
Now I can. All right.
Nice.
I hear you too.
All right, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know technology. I'm not good at this at all, right?
Share your screen too. Let's get back to that slide of your daily marketing system, right? Where you post a certain amount of times, what hours, what works. Let's get back to that slide, wrap up this section, and then we've got section 4 before we go to the UpFlip Academy.
Or where's it at? Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to get this back up.
Yep. Thanks for your patience, guys.
All right, yeah, we're right here. All right, how do I share this?
Share screen at the bottom, just like we did from the start.
Is your computer connected to Wi-Fi?
Mm-hmm.
Give me 1 second, guys. I'm coming, I promise you.
You got some supporters, that's for sure.
Is it glitching?
Mm-hmm.
So right at the bottom, are you not seeing it? Share.
Oh, no, yeah, we're seeing it. I think this system that we're in, it's like we're clicking on it, and nothing is like clicking.
It's frozen. We're gonna disconnect and then reconnect. Give us like 1 more minute.
Okay. Thank you to Sandoval Solutions. He says, take your time, even if you get lost again, just patiently reconnect. Happens to the best of us. I can still see it, but I don't see your screen.
Yeah, I'm looking at the screen. I see the slide, but the Canva is not doing anything.
Just be able to share the screen from his end.
I think we gotta shut the whole thing down and come back in.
We'll get this fixed. I got somebody working on the ceiling lights in my office. Sounds like a tractor there. That's okay. It's just an unusual sound.
Yeah, it is. It's usually a beep.
How we looking, Dawon? Still frozen? I am still here, but I think Dawon's gone. So, how's your day going, you guys? Where are you at? Share something in the comments. Love to know who's watching from where. I'm in Bellingham, Washington, by the way. Pacific Northwest. Rainy and cold, but that's the usual thing for this season. So, I'm gonna see what is going on in our chat room. How do you find and contact information for the local newspaper? While we're waiting for Dawon, who's using ChatGPT or some form of AI in a more technical way as opposed to just Googling it? And so this question here is, how do you find contact information for the local newspaper? I do real estate full-time and a couple other businesses, and I gotta say ChatGPT has helped me connect with a lot of people internally, skipping the gatekeeper. Just tell ChatGPT who you're looking for, what your intent is, purpose, and man, it does a deep dive, and it gives me some internal emails that you can't always find online. So that was very, very helpful, and I still use it to this day. Oh, nice. Austin, Canada, Germany. Wow. Thanks for joining us from Germany. It's probably super late there. Come on, Dawon, we're here for you. He hasn't joined yet. Let's see where he's at. Every day, Oliver, good for you. I've been absolutely freaking enjoying ChatGPT. Just learning how to speak to it as well helps. Oh wow, Hiwassee, Georgia. Am I saying that right? Hiwassee? Florida, looking forward to perfect food truck inspirations. These gems are priceless. Sweden, wow, Gregory, thanks for joining us from Sweden. Well, I apologize about this. I know Ryan's out in Australia, by the way, and so I've stepped in to take his role for these live calls, even though I do the on-the-ground UpFlip hosting every day. This is fun, aside from technical issues. Calling Dawon again. He's not answering now. Guys, we're going to give it maybe a minute or two, ladies and gents, and see where we go. Maybe we'll just wrap it up and then switch for the UpFlip side Academy. So if you have access to UpFlip Academy, join us there. We're going to wrap up and do a little bit of a deep dive. And no, I don't see him joining yet. No, there he is. Okay.
Can you guys hear me now?
Dawon, yes, we can. There you go. You're on the big
Perfect, got
screen. If you could share your screen, let's keep rolling.
It's sharing.
I just see. I don't see your screen. There it is. There you go. All right, let's go to slide 19.
Right there.
All right, we have 35 people with us. Let's dive back into your schedule, how often you post.
I don't want to bring this in.
Let's do a present mode right at the top. Nope. Today is just not the day. He's gone again. Hi, can you please spell where he got the food truck from? Is it Quick Lease or Click Lease? Let me double check. I'm going to send a link to what he's referring to right there. He's not coming back. I don't know. We have these planned well in advance. But Dawon's got some technical issues today. All right. All right, you guys. I'm going to call it, and I appreciate those who did watch. Join us to wrap up, hopefully with no technical difficulties on the UpFlip side, UpFlip Academy side. So we're gonna go there and wrap this up. Yeah, I don't think he's coming back to this platform for some reason. So wish you well.